Hey there, I'm Sarah, and my childhood felt like something straight out of a heartwarming movie, all thanks to my mom, Linda. She was my rock, my cheerleader, and my best friend all rolled into one. I can still remember the mouth-watering smell of her homemade cookies wafting through our tiny apartment. Every night, she tucked me in with a bedtime story, her voice as soothing as a lullaby. Sarah, honey, she'd say, you can be anything you want to be. Just be kind and work hard. Those words became my mantra, even when times were tough, and boy, were they tough sometimes. Mom never let me feel like I was missing out, though. She turned our financial struggles into little adventures. Look, Sarah, she'd exclaim, holding up a dress she'd sewn from scraps. It's a one-of-a-kind Sarah original. I'd twirl around in my new designer outfit, feeling like the luckiest kid in the world. Dad wasn't in the picture. He left when I was just a baby, so it was just Mom and me. She juggled work and raising me on her own, never once complaining. One day, when I was about 8, I asked her, Mom, don't you miss having a husband? She smiled, pulled me close, and said, Sweetie, I have all the love I need right here. That's the kind of woman my mom is, selfless, strong, and full of love. As I grew older, her dedication to my education became clear. She'd sit with me for hours, helping me with homework, even when she was exhausted from working double shifts at the diner. Education is the key to a better life, Sarah, she'd remind me. No one can ever take that away from you. Those words stuck with me. I buried myself in my studies, determined to make her proud. And it paid off. By high school, I was at the top of my class. That's when Aunt Karen started showing up more. Mom's sister had always been around, but now she was a constant presence, always smiling, always offering a helping hand. Linda, you work too hard, she'd say. Let me help out more. Mom was grateful, and so was I. But little did we know what was brewing behind that helpful facade. Everything changed during my senior year. I scored a full-ride scholarship to State University, and Mom couldn't have been prouder. But our celebration was short-lived. That same week, Mom was diagnosed with a chronic illness. Suddenly, our roles reversed. I became the caretaker, juggling college preparations and Mom's doctor appointments. I'm so sorry, sweetie, Mom said one night, her face pale against the hospital pillows. This isn't how it's supposed to be. I held her hand tightly. Don't you dare apologize, Mom. It's my turn to take care of you now. As Mom's condition worsened, Aunt Karen stepped in even more, offering to manage Mom's finances, handle her medical appointments, and keep the house running. At the time, it felt like a godsend. If only we'd known the truth behind those comforting smiles and hugs. But that's a story for another day. Just know that sometimes the people closest to you can surprise you in the worst possible ways. Stay tuned for what happens next. You won't believe where this story goes. College life hit me like a freight train. Between classes, assignments, and caring for Mom, I was running on fumes. Aunt Karen became our saving grace, or so I thought. Sarah, honey, you focus on your studies, and I'll take care of your mom, she'd say, her smile warm and reassuring. I was grateful, truly, but something felt off. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. One day, while paying Mom's bills, I noticed a strange discrepancy in her account. Hey Mom, did you make a big purchase recently? I asked. She looked at me, confused. No, sweetie, I shrugged it off, chalking it up to a bank error, but that uneasy feeling in my stomach wouldn't go away. As the weeks passed, Mom's condition worsened, and the doctors recommended more intensive care, which meant higher expenses. Aunt Karen took over the finances, insisting it was one less thing for us to worry about. Then, one night, I was home for the weekend, trying to catch up on sleep when I was jolted awake by voices. Karen, what have you done? I heard Mom's voice, weak but furious. Linda, you're confused. It's the medication. Don't patronize me. I saw the bank statements. How could you? My heart pounded as I crept down the hallway, straining to hear. I needed the money, Linda. You don't understand. Get out. Get out. I rushed into the room. Mom was shaking, tears streaming down her face. Aunt Karen looked like she'd seen a ghost. What's going on? I demanded. Karen quickly composed herself. Nothing, sweetie. Your mom's just upset about her meds. I'll handle it. But I wasn't buying it anymore. That night, I went through Mom's finances myself. And what I found made me sick. Thousands of dollars had been transferred to an account I didn't recognize. The next day, I confronted Karen. How could you steal from your own sister? She laughed, but it was cold and mocking. Steal? Oh, Sarah, you're so naive. Your mother offered to help me. Now she's just confused. You're lying, I shouted. Her eyes narrowed. Prove it. That's when I realized the loving aunt I thought I knew was gone, replaced by someone calculated and cruel. That night, I couldn't sleep. Instead, I ordered hidden cameras and set them up in Mom's room. It felt wrong, like an invasion of privacy. But I had to protect her. Little did I know those cameras would capture something far worse than theft. It was just another Tuesday and I was supposed to be in class. But something, call it intuition, made me turn around and head home. When I got there, the house was eerily quiet. Too quiet. Then I heard a muffled sound coming from Mom's room. I ran, my heart in my throat, and what I saw will haunt me forever. Aunt Karen was standing over Mom's bed, pressing a pillow over her face. Stop, I screamed, lunging forward. Karen jumped back, shock and guilt written all over her face. Sarah, I was just fluffing her pillow, she stammered, but Mom was gasping, her eyes wide with terror. With shaking fingers, I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. Please help. My aunt just tried to kill my mother. Everything after that was a blur. Police sirens, paramedics rushing in, Karen being led away in handcuffs, still protesting her innocence. Mom was rushed to the hospital, and while we waited for news, a detective approached me. Miss, we found some concerning financial records at your home. Do you know anything about this? I told him everything, the missing money, the arguments, my suspicions. He nodded grimly. We'll need to conduct a full investigation. It looks like your aunt has been embezzling funds for years. The next few days were a nightmare. Mom was stable but weak, and I barely left her side. Then the calls started coming in from family members. Sarah, what's this we're hearing about Karen? It can't be true. You must have misunderstood. Are you sure you're not overreacting? Their doubt cut deep, but I stood firm. I hired a lawyer determined to see justice done. As the investigation unfolded, the full extent of Karen's betrayal came to light. She hadn't just stolen from Mom. She'd been preying on elderly relatives for years. Mom's health slowly improved, and one day she squeezed my hand and whispered, I'm sorry I didn't believe you sooner. I kissed her forehead. It's not your fault, Mom. She fooled us all. The courtroom was packed on the day of Karen's trial. As the prosecutor laid out the case, gasps echoed through the room. Years of fraud, manipulation, and finally, attempted murder. Karen sat stone-faced, but I saw the moment she realized it was over. Her carefully crafted facade crumbled. One by one, victims came forward, elderly aunts and uncles I barely knew, all with similar stories. Karen, the helpful niece who drained their savings. She told me it was for a good cause. One great aunt testified, her voice trembling. I trusted her. The hardest part was watching Mom take the stand. She looked so small, so fragile, but her voice was strong as she recounted that terrible day. I woke up and couldn't breathe, she said. I saw Karen's eyes and they were empty. When the verdict came in, guilty on all counts, I didn't feel joy, just relief. As Karen was led away, she glanced at me. For a moment, I saw a flicker of the aunt I used to love. But it quickly vanished. The aftermath was tough. Some family members still couldn't believe it. Others were ashamed they hadn't seen the signs. Mom and I had a lot of healing to do, both physically and emotionally. One night, as we sat in our living room, now free of Karen's shadow, Mom turned to me. Sarah, I've been thinking, what happened to us must be happening to others too. I nodded, understanding. We should do something. And that's how our support group, Families Against Elder Abuse, was born. It started small, just a few people gathered in our living room. But it grew. We shared stories, resources, and warning signs to watch for. I began speaking at community centers, schools, anywhere that would have me. Elder abuse is real, I tell them, and it often comes from those we trust most. It wasn't easy. Some days the memories would hit hard. But every time we helped a family recognize the signs or supported someone through their own ordeal, it felt like a victory. Mom's health improved, and she became a beacon of hope for others. A living testament that there is life after betrayal. As for me, I finished college, but my path had shifted. I went into social work, specializing in elder care protection. Karen's actions had torn our family apart. But from that destruction, we built something meaningful. A community, a support system, a way to turn our pain into purpose. Every night, I thank whatever force brought me home that day, and I promise myself, never again, not on my watch. Our story isn't over, but now we're writing it on our own terms. If sharing it helps even one person, then every tear, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt will have been worth it. Because in the end, love wins. Not the fake love Karen showed, but the real, selfless love that Mom taught me, the kind of love that heals, that builds, that changes the world. And that's a love worth fighting for. One day, about a year after Karen's conviction, I received a letter. It was from her, sent from prison. My hands shook as I opened it. Sarah, it began. I know I have no right to ask for forgiveness. I read it, tears streaming down my face. Karen expressed deep remorse, explaining the desperation that led to her actions. She didn't try to excuse what she'd done but offered some context. Gambling debts, a failed business, mounting medical bills for her child I never knew existed. I showed the letter to Mom, and her response surprised me. We can't forget, Sarah, she said, but maybe we can find a way to forgive, not for her, but for us. It wasn't easy, but we decided to use Karen's story as part of our outreach, not to justify her actions, but to show how complex life can be. The story has come to an end, but now I have a question for you. If you were in Sarah's position, could you ever forgive someone like Aunt Karen for their betrayal, even after they express remorse? Or do you believe that some actions are truly unforgivable? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective might help others wrestling with similar dilemmas. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. We share thought-provoking content that explores the complexities of human relationships and personal growth. Join our community as we navigate life's challenging scenarios together.